men's team under their interim manager John O'Shea with their first victory, a 2-1 home victory over Hungary, a goal in injury time to win the game. So look, it was only a friendly, but Hungary are preparing for the Euros, but still it was a friendly match, and it was a win, and a win is a win is a win at home, especially at home.
Yeah, wins a win there last Tuesday night. Tomorrow night, of course, again they're playing Portugal away. Yeah, it's good to get the victory. I think Didier Man was there on RT saying they haven't had a victory at home against some friendly or qualifier at home. It's a decent opposition now for a long time. Look, a 2-1 win it's a good win for John O'Shea's first win as interim manager. He's got another one tonight against Portugal away. We'll discuss that in a while. But yeah, the game, it had an end of season friendly vibe about it, Paul, to be quite honest with you. Hungary there, of course, they have players that don't want to get injured. We have Irish players trying to raise a gallop after a couple of players hadn't played for 3 or 4 weeks. A lot of them in the championships, some in the Premier League that might have been injured, so they haven't had a run out in a while. Sammy Spadix, I think, was itching to, because obviously there's the controversy with himself in Hungary and he couldn't declare for Hungary, but he seemed to man that was on a mission to score or create some chances for Ireland. He stayed on the pitch for the whole 90, and he was desperate to score. But I think 2-1, it's a good result in terms of good opposition against Hungary, of course. But I think the game itself, Paul, the performance, I wouldn't say it covered up a lot of the cracks. I felt Hungary controlled the game for a lot of it, to be honest with you, Paul. The first half, they looked a bit crisper. They looked better. They looked the reason why they're probably ranked higher than us, and the reason why they're going to the Euros, to be fair. But Ireland, I won't say hung on in there, but because don't get a lot of possession, we kept giving the ball away cheaply, Paul. I felt for the home team, the crowd. I think in commentary, even on the television, they mentioned numerous times, the crowd couldn't get involved in the game because Ireland couldn't give them anything to get behind for a lot of it. But I thought the first goal, Almeida, in 36 minutes there, good ball down the wing, and then small ball, good cross, first time cross into the box. He said if I beat the first man, I have a good chance that Ian might get hit it. And I couldn't believe that they defended from Hungary. The two centre backs, completely ball watching. Almeida had the freedom of Lansdowne Road, heads into the back of net, goalie no chance, 1-0. And you're hoping then that Ireland can get to half time with a 1-0 lead. But I think, like you said yourself, like the championship minutes you've been mentioned a couple of times, where just before into the first half, at the start of the second half, Ireland seemed to switch off. Hungary played a quick, I wouldn't say a short free kick. An Irish player got onto the ball, all right, but it got a deflection, looped up into the air. Now, I suppose with VAR, it could be a consideration for a recheck of the goal, but there's no VAR, and probably that's just as well. A Hungary player got a flick on with a header at the back post in. Lang buried into the back of the Cuivan Keller had no chance. He was pretty much on top of him when he scored. That was a little bit disappointing. The second half, I have to say, Paul, the second half was desperate. It's just a lot of substitutions.
Is it desperate good or desperate bad? Just to clarify.
Desperate bad from both teams, Paul. No, like the second half, there was nothing that the crowd could get behind of. I even heard in commentary, I think even Ray Houghton said a few people were leaving after the 75th minute because there was nothing really happening in the game. There's no real chances. Sablastai, I think, had an okay game for Hungary. He's one of the Liverpool players. He's going to the Euros. He's one of the best players. He seemed to be getting a bit of ratty battle with Seamus Coleman. Of course, Coleman plays for Everton, so there's no love lost there. And I felt there was some late tackles near the end of the game. And the game became very scrappy, Paul. And the game looked like to be petering out for a 1-1 draw. But then Hungary, I think, going for the win, had a corner. Everybody had pushed up. Ireland got the lucky break. I think it was that Troy Parrott and Spadix were able to clear the ball, and the ball fell perfectly. And Parrott had the halfway line. He ran from the halfway line to the goals. Now, a lot of people have suggested that he should have passed, but if you look back in it, Paul, Sammy Smadix is actually ahead of the ball. The one-on-one, there's two players bearing down on goals, avoid the keeper to beat. If Smadix literally just stays behind a little bit, Paris can just square to him and he's got an empty tap in for a goal. But the trouble is, Troy Parrott can't pass it to him because if you look at the replay, Smadix is actually ahead of the ball. when actually a Parrott shoots. And lucky enough, Parrott did shoot. Now, he's one-on-one with the keeper. He shanks it. He doesn't connect with it at all properly. We're lucky enough. It hits off the keeper's. I won't say his knee or keeper was unlucky. I think the keeper probably should have saved it. Loops up into the air and falls into the back of the net, and a 2-1 win. And look, I was delighted with John O'Shea. We don't know. I think many people feel he's been messed around by the FAI at the moment. He seems to be the man, the face of the FAI. Nobody's really coming out and talking to the media, talking to the fans, more importantly, about what the situation with the manager. They say September, but it's been dragging on like Aiden, and he's been the man that's had to take all the questions from the media and everything. And I was delighted 2-1. Could possibly be his last game at home. He's got another game tomorrow night. We assume that the FAI have a short list that they're going to announce the new manager in September. Possibly Willie Sagnol, the man that's in charge of Georgia at the Euros at the moment, or possibly someone else. We just don't know for sure. But I was delighted for him to get a 2-1 win. He's a passionate Irish football man, and he clearly wants the job. But whether the FAI go for it or not, I don't. I just have a funny feeling they won't.
Can I come back? Sorry, can I come back just to the score that was scored? Is it disappointing that in Smollett's and that he didn't stay on side? Because if that was a qualifier, if that was an important qualifier, and we needed the win, we needed the goal to get the 3 points for the qualification process, and if he had passed the ball, he'd be ruled offside. I mean, to me, and I never played, but to me, that is absolutely shocking that he was, and just the way he didn't pass it, but he should be made sure he was onside. And I didn't see it live, but I saw it afterwards. There was no defender within an access for them. The two were barely down in the keeper. Parrott had the ball. Your man should have made sure he take a step back that he was onside, and your man could stick the ball to him. Now, he got the goal into the friendly match, but if that was a qualifier and you needed the goal for the result of 3 points and you passed him to be flagged offside, just a quick word on that. I just find that for professional players that he could automatically, he should have made sure he was onside, and there was no doubt about it. And especially when there was no defender around. Any thoughts on that?
Like the two of them bearing down on goals. There's no that he's no one to shrug off. He's no one to compete with for the ball. The goalkeeper's bearing down. The goalkeeper's, I wouldn't say no man's land because obviously he's just a small bit off his line. But the goalkeeper I say was praying that Parrott would pass it, because I think even the commentary said it at the time, Paul, that lucky enough he didn't pass it. But even with the naked eye, Paul, you wouldn't, if they need the replays, you wouldn't be sure if Maddox was on side. And when you look at the replays, he's not, because when Parrott shoots, you can tell by the line of the edge of the box.
Yeah,
Smoddick's foot is actually on the line, and the ball is just short of it. If you get me.
Yeah.
So he's clearly offside. So I think Smoddick's was a bit. I wouldn't say he was a bit rat. He was very eager in the game, I felt.
Yeah, I know he was there was a bit of history.
Bit of controversy.
He wanted to score so much, but he's still a professional and all. He's still a professional.
Yeah, I know, and you really have to, like. I think it would have been typical Ireland if Parrott did square to him and he did score, and the flag goes up, and because the full-time whistle is coming, Paul. Literally, I would think if a free kick was awarded at that time, the referee would blow the whistle and it'd ended up in a 1-1 draw. But just as well, Parrott took the shot. Now, just on Parrott now, even though he scored, had 2 hat-tricks in a matter of 2-3 weeks, the Dutch league, and unfortunately his team didn't survive the playoff that they lost, and they got down to the division below. It was a very lucky finish. I remember.
No, that's a good thing. No, I'm going to have to stop you right there. Yeah. I was waiting for you to say it. In my opinion, that's brilliant. Lucky as a striker. Alan Shearer was asked one time after he retired what was the best goal he scored, and he said the best goal he scored, some fella took a shot from distance, the goalie knocked it onto the post, he came off the post, hit him in the backside, went into the net. The point he was making, every goal, no matter how it goes in, is good. So to be lucky, that's the most important thing in a striker, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I get your point, but what I'm saying is, for future reference, though, we wouldn't want to be relying on it too much. I think Parrott himself would admit that he got a little bit lucky in this as well. But I will give you an example where they didn't get lucky at the time. If you remember, it's a while ago now, Paul. But to be fair, Parrott has so many injuries. he has been able to feature for Ireland for a lot under Stephen Kenny, the previous manager. There was a game against Scotland. I don't
I
know if you
remember.
remember.
Yeah.
We're
Explain it,
away.
yeah.
We're away against Scotland, and it was 1-1, and we had taken the lead, and Scotland had equalised. And it was late enough in the game, and Powers played clean through, even in a better position than he was in the one that he scored against Hungary there last week. And unfortunately, I think it was Gordon in goals. I forget who was in goals for Scotland, but he saved it. And then a couple minutes later, then Scotland get a penalty, and we win. They win 2-1 instead of we being 2-1 up. A couple minutes later, we end up being 2-1, and we end up with the game with nothing. So, look, he got the look, and John O'Shea got the look, and the team got the look last Tuesday night. But I suppose we can't rely on it too much. But we get a lucky break now and again. And some other team will get against us as well in the future as well.
Yeah.
So, it's good that our players are scoring goals. I mean, we had Ida and Parrott, they're two strikers. They're two players that finished the season very well for their clubs.
Yeah.
And they both scored. And because we mentioned here last week, we can't always be relying on Evan Ferguson. He's only 19 years of age. He's younger than the two boys there. And we need other players scoring goals. But the thing is, Paul, we need to be controlling games a little bit better, because even though we scored 2 goals, and be fair enough, if I had about 4 shots in the game, I think Hungary had about 8 or 9, a bit more. They control the game a little bit better. I think if it was a qualifier, Paul, I think Hungary would have upped the pace a little bit. The passing would be crisper. I think they would have taken more of their chances. But since it was in their season friendly and they were going to the Euros, I think, look, it's a good result and it's a good win for Ireland, but I don't think we should overhype it too much.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's first win against a decent side.
Yeah, before we move on, they're playing Portugal tomorrow night, another friendlier side in Portugal. Portugal are going to the Euros, so just a quick word on it.
Yeah, quick word. Look, Portugal lost, I think, 2-1 at home to Croatia in a friendly. They're preparing now for the Euros. Obviously, they got a very good squad, Paul. Whether they can turn on for the Euros, I'm not so sure. But just focusing on tomorrow's game, look, I would hope he'll switch it up a little bit. I know he made 6 changes from the last game that he had against Switzerland, but a lot more enforced with a few injuries. I would like to see Jacob Bryan get a start at centre back. I think he's worth it now. I thought he played very well. Well, I think himself and I know Nathan Collins is injured. Himself and Scales maybe can be a partnership at centre back. Possibly Coleman, I think, may or may not start. I think a few changes have been made to the team. Whether Parrott might start now, being the winner now on the last day. They've had a week break. Now I don't know the latest on the injury concerns. I haven't had a chance to have a look to see what's happening. We'll see what's happening. But look, I think it's going to be a tough enough game, Paul. I think we're going to be. But I found under Kenny, and particularly Irish teams, we seem to play better against the bigger teams away from home. If you remember some of our best games, I know we lost against Scotland. I know we lost a few other games. The Portugal game there a couple of years ago, Paul. If you remember, we actually took the lead against Portugal, and it was Ronaldo's 2 goals in the extra time, and at the time they beat us. So I think we were competitive, but I feel if we give Portugal the amount of ball we gave against Hungary at home, even, I think we could be in for a long night.
Yeah.
I would say 2 or 3-1 Portugal. If Portugal score early, I think that I will fear for us. So I think the more technical players, the better players than us, obviously, and they're much more better squad. Just look at the clubs they're playing for. I think a 2-1 or 3-1 Portugal. I have a funny feeling will be with the result tomorrow night.
Yeah, I suppose. Is it a final chance for John O'Shea to put his name forward? I think there's a 50-50 chance John O'Shea will get it. That they're probably after, so we know on the Euros, when the Euros are over, managers will become available. Saying no, some other one might become available, and they'll probably push. But I think John O'Shea has a 50-50 chance now. So just one quick word before we move on.
Yeah, look, he's got a chance. He's definitely in the run, Paul. He's there. He knows the players. As you said yourself, he'll demand great respect from the players because of the man he was in terms of playing for Manchester United, playing for Ireland over 100 times, all the trophies. He's got the medals to show off, Paul, and that does help. Look, the only thing is he's still very early in his managerial career. You know, we had worries when, say, for example, when Staunton got the job and that turned out very poorly. When Kenny got the job, we said at top level, they hadn't managed at the top level. So John O'Shea's always just starting out, to be fair. So it is a risk, but at the end of the day, Paul, every managerial choice you make when he gets the job is a risk because it can go very good or it can go very bad. I think he's got definitely a 50. He's definitely got a chance, Paul. I just wouldn't trust the FBI. Nobody knows recently what's going to happen. Not recently, but a long time. With this managerial search. Kenny left his job in November. Stephen Kenny left his job in November. We still don't have a permanent manager. John Shea could be managing his last game tomorrow night. We just don't know. But as you said yourself, he's definitely in the running. But who gets the jobs? Who gets the job at this stage? Who knows?
Right. Okay.